I wanna taste the pain. I think I'm seeing all red. 2 bullets in the gun, 1 shot to the head. I need a blank space. 'Cause everything is a threat, but I never back down. Man, I'd rather be dead. I'm making love to fate. And she look better in bed. And I'ma rock this life till I take my last breath. I wanna make a change.
Bomb has been planted.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? How you guys doing tonight, today, wherever you're from in this people? We have another Beer and Cheese Tuesday. This is an open one. Anyone can bring whatever you want, any beer, any cheese, and we'll have, you know what? I didn't put one together for next week, so we're probably going to do an open one next week, too. That's okay, though.
Next week's Fat Tuesday on Tuesday.
Hey, we'll figure that out. We'll do it. Well, I want to welcome my panel tonight. This is a great panel here. We got Miscellaneous Brew Reviews, Michael Komaroff, and Bumpy Brewery. All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers to the chat as well. Got Mary and Butch here. Cheers to you guys. All right. And cheers to anyone else that comes in. All right. Let's get going. Let's do this. Let's bring Miscellaneous up.
Cool. All right. Let's start with the cheese, Go ahead and show that off, get it out of the way. So I've got from Belton Farms at the UK. This is double Gloucester with onion and chive. A bit spendy. Yeah, there's the cheese. You can definitely see the chives in there. It's a little funky. For the beer, I've got the number 2 ranked American Porter on Beer Edge. This guy here. This is the 2021 version of the Funky Buddha Maple Bacon Coffee Porter. This is the first, well, not the first time. This is the last out of the 4-pack that I got, but this is the first time trying this. Because Constellation, they're owned by Constellation now, so they're not indie anymore. Definitely interested to show this off. Proper glassware from the Buddha. Yeah, dude. Nice. It's deep brown, about 3 fingers, cocoa colored head. Yeah, dude.
It's a big old head. That was nice. Beautiful beer.
Yep. So that's it. We'll see. I kind of got an odd pairing with the chive onion and the maple bacon sweet porter.
Nice. Cheers, Chadeo.
We're winging it.
Right on. I like it when it's wild like that, though. We'll see what works. All right, let's welcome in Chadeo here and bring up Michael Komaroff. Cheers, guys.
Okay, so my cheese is Brie double cream from Lidl, and that's what the container looks like. And this is what it looks like on the plate. Again, the light here is very bright, so I don't even know how well you can pick that up. There's cheese on that plate. Anyway, the beer is from 6 Point. It's their Pilsner, the Crisp, 5.4%, 44 IBUs. And let's see what it looks like in the glass. Lots of carbonation. I think you can see the carbonation coming up. About a full finger and a half head, creamy, foamy, whatever. And I'll come around with my full description after everybody gives their preliminary stuff.
Nice. That's a good looking clean beer there. All right. Thank you, Michael. Let's bring Bumpy up.
All right. Well, the cheese that I'm bringing, it looks like this. I did cut it up a little bit. It's a little bit crumbly. It looks almost like a slice of Texas toast. It's even all like that on the bottom. It's all like that.
Oh.
And what this is, it's called Smoked Seaside. It's a rugged, mature smoked English cheddar. It says that it's matured on the Ashley Chase estate in England. And I can tell you, this is some of the smokiest cheese that I've ever encountered on my nostrils. So it even like through the packaging, just picking it up, you could smell the smoke, and then you left with it all over your fingers, and it will stay on there until you wash your hands. So pretty damn smoky stuff. The beer that I'm going to pair with it comes from Mayflower Brewing Company. This one's called Leather-Bound Books, and they make the can look like a leather-bound book, basically.
Oh wow!
And it's a Baltic Porter. It comes in at 8% ABV. We'll build a little head there. Very large head on this one. Very tight bubbles, though. Creamy, off-white, kind of going into that khaki color for the head. The beer itself has a clarity to it. I can't see it on that side, but with light behind it, it's a very like amber color. Some nice dark redder hues up here. Gets a little bit more kind of copper tone amber down below. But yeah,
Nice.
it's a nice looking Baltic Porter.
It sure is.
We'll get into all this stuff when we come back.
Right on, man. Thank you,
Smells
Bumpy.
bready. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It's got a big old nice head.
Bready with bread cheese.
Yeah, exactly.
You know where I think we heard that from? Because when we used to go to the What's the ABV, Bumpy was the guy with the leather band. So I just put all that together.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a
Who
cool
is-
can, by the
Who
way.
is this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy?
Who is this guy? By the way, happy 222.
Yeah,
Oh
dude,
boy,
cool.
yes,
Good
gotta
shit.
love it.
Mm.
I saw you guys. I was like, oh crap, I do have a good beer and cheese today, and I haven't been up in a long time, and I missed these guys. So I grabbed a Boar's Head Gruyere
All
out
right.
of the refrigerator. It is traditional old world Alpine style cheese made in copper vats, and that's what she looks like. Nice light in color, close to like a white in color. It's just very nice looking. A little bit of moisture. It's pretty. I won't say it's dry, but I think it would be good to. Seems like it's good to melt. And I have Santa's Balls version 3, aka traditional winter ale. So no explode, please. All right, she's crawling a little. Oh, saved her. I'm getting a little bit better with my carbonation with my beers. As you can see, there it is. Looks good. Kind of a dark ale. Can already smell the winter spices from it. And let me tell you, I've already tried this. I took a bottle with me down to Florida, and it's actually very lovely. So I have notes on both the beer and the cheese next time around. Cheers,
What's
guys.
what's the approximate ABV, Chadeo?
Well, it read 9.5, and I can tell you it's probably well over 10 because it gets it pretty quick.
9.5 down to be
All right,
efficient.
perfect.
Awesome.
It gets you really quick, and I'm like, yeah, it's got to be up there.
Right on. Thanks, Chadeo. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Homebrew,
let's get
dude.
me up here. All right, guys. Cool. Got some good stuff there. Damn, this is really loud. There's something that keeps ringing. All right, so I'll go with the cheese. I got a Mimolette. It's from Isigny, Saint Man. I don't know, something French. Yeah, and it's really hard, dense cheese, real orange. Miscellaneous had this before, and it just is really cool. It's you hear
It's
that?
like a cave age cheese.
Yeah, it's cave age.
That's like if you see a whole one of those, it looks like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, it does look like a cantaloupe. It's weird, or like pumpkin pie or something. And then I'm gonna mix it with the Boulevard's Dark Truth Imperial Stout. It's a 9.7% and 60 IBUs. So got a nice little bitterness level there. Smoke there, good. I've had this before, but I can't really remember how it tasted. So nice jet black looking beer, opaque, can't see through it. Nice tan, khaki, almost pushing cocoa head, 2-finger pour, a little rocky on the top, real firm head though. Yeah, I can see this going possibly well, as the smell of this cheese is really nutty. So I'm dying to try it. So let's jump into our reviews and get Miscellaneous back up here.
All right. So, I'm going to start with the cheese. There's a lot going on with this. It definitely smells like it's got a nice cheddar, tangy, salinity, zinginess to it, but it's very onion forward. So it's kind of got a little funk to it, and it's got the vegetal to it as well, which is good with the chives. You got like, smells like fresh, slightly earthy. Yeah. It's a lathering cheese in the mouth. Melts kind of halfway. Definitely good cheddar. There's a sweet note in there. I don't know where exactly that's coming from, but the onion and the chive and the cheese is fantastic. It's really good. I've gotten stuff from Belton Farms before. It's really good, rich, savory. Like I said, onion. It's definitely coming through. That chive. It's got like that fresh, earthy vegetal thing going with it. They're both onion, so it just goes really good with the cheese. Definitely good additions. All right, so yeah, got a little bit of head hanging in there. On the nose, definitely getting hit with the sweet maple syrup. There's a vanilla note. Very, very light coffee. Very, very light, subtle. But it's got a good roast. It's got a little bit of it's a slightly robust on the nose for only being 6.4. Smells fantastic. Definitely more dessert style stout. If I handed you a glass of this, you'd be like, "Oh, that's probably going to be sweet." But yeah, looks great. Smells fantastic so far. So let's get a taste. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Miscellaneous.
Cheers,
man.
Miscellaneous.
All right.
It's got about a medium body. Oh, wow. So the first thing I got, medium low carbonation, coffee up front. Like I said, it's mild, not overbearing. Maybe leaning a little bit more towards the black coffee side, not as sweet. Then you get like the malts, the roasty in the mid sip, and then it finishes out with that maple syrup, kind of a dry finish. It's not too sweet. I think there's like a with the coffee, when they got to use there's some kind of earthy hops they have in this, because the balance is good. Like I said, it's not too sweet, it's not too bitter, it's kind of almost right there in the groove. Adjuncty, so bacon, they say they got bacon in here. I don't think that's the case. I think it's you pick up. I forgot to say it on the nose because I forgot about that. I always address it. It doesn't taste like bacon. There's almost this. It's like a smokiness that you pick up. And like I said, it blends well with the coffee. All in all, this is good still. Constellation didn't push him to mess this up. Thank God. Whew. Yeah, this is. I don't think they let him mess with this one at all. I'm very, very pleased. This is the last one of the 4-pack. It was hard to save it. I drank 3 in the one night. The first when I got it, I was like, "Damn, these are good." So yeah, together. Cheese before beer. That's usually how it goes. All right.
Cheesers.
Cheese.
Cheesers.
Chasers.
Wow. So the cheese like completely ran the beer over, which I'm surprised because I did bring something pretty adjunct, like not adjuncty, but is flavor forward. It just ran it completely over and just made it taste like a plain stout. Crazy. I guess we'll have the beer and the cheese, see if we have an adverse reaction. Because wow, that did. It just smothered it completely. You got nothing.
Cheesers.
That worked a little better because you get that the maple and stuff is going in. You still have the flavor, and then you're getting the cheese, which is savory. Goes really good. Onion pops, chive pops. In it, I think the combination of the beer before that, because that is sweeter, it definitely makes the cheese a little bit more zingy and robust, tangy and sharp. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Awesome.
I was very disappointed when I tried the cheese and then drank the beer. Or no, what was it? Yeah. Or it drank the beer and then ate. I can't remember, dude. It just ran it over that one time.
Bacon presents would have been nice. More bacon, like umami-ish
I'm
or
going to need a
whatever.
little bit more of this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need more time.
Damn, dude. Nice. Thanks, Miscellaneous. Right on.
Catch you on the next round.
Hell yeah. Let's get Michael up here.
Okay, so again, we have this brie from Lidl, double cream, soft ripened cheese, and you really can't see it in the light, but I have it there. And I'm going to taste some of the cheese first.
Num num num.
Very soft cheese in comparison to the more hard ones that I usually have. So the consistency is definitely interesting. Doesn't have much of an odor to the cheese either. Kind of like a very, I mean, you can smell it if you put it right against your nose, but the smell is very mild. But it's even softer in the middle than it is on the outside. Okay, so as far as the 6-point crisp, you'll notice that the head has subsided. It was finger and a half, and now it's like a slim, still a white head, and you can regenerate it a little, but it doesn't really get that much more regenerated. The coloration is kind of a clear yellow golden, and you can still see the carbonation shooting up through the top of it. So it's a clean beer to look at anyway. Let's get a nose on it. I'm getting kind of an acrid smell, which I'm not sure is one that would normally come in a Pilsner, but it's not strongly acrid. It's mild. There's a sweetness to it as well. What else? Kind of like a wet wheat kind of smell. I guess you can get that in a Pilsner. Maybe a little bit of, some noble hops as well, because this is a German style Pilsner. That's about it. I'm going to take a sip. Cheers, everybody.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers, Michael.
Okay. The taste, you're getting kind of a toasted taste to it. Maybe like a hint of some caraway seed as well. It tastes like other German Pilsners I've had. It's a little bit more hoppy though. I guess the 44 IBUs, but it's not bitter hoppy. It's more just, hoppy, upbeat hoppy. That's not a negative thing about it. It's a little bit on the grainy side as well. Grassy, kind of like a little bit of hay notes in it as well. But 5.4%, it's very drinkable, and you could have several of these without any problem. You know, it's low alcohol session type anyway, and I'm enjoying it. Let's see if there's anything else. Kind of like a light to medium mouthfeel. It's probably below medium though, maybe a highlight. It's good. Let's compare it. Let's try it with the beer first and then the cheese.
Cheesers.
Cheesers.
Teasers.
The cheese is so mild that after the beer, it just like covers the taste of the beer. But you can still taste the beer in the background. It doesn't totally cover it. Let me try the cheese first. I like it better with the cheese first because it's almost like the combination of the beer on top of the cheese brings out the flavor of the beer better. It's not that way all the time, but with this brie, it's that way.
Right.
But I'm enjoying it, and I'll formulate a score when we come back around again.
Nice, Michael. Thank you. All right. Let's get Bumpy up here. Thanks a lot. Here we go.
Well, I'm going to smell my leather-bound books first because the cheese is definitely smoky. I'm going to move back a bit here to get away from the cheese. So it does have a rich, malty, bready aroma. Brown bread, maybe like a bread crust, maybe a bit of a an extra cooked dinner roll. Chocolate, a little bit of a fruit note, a dark fruit note to it. I could see like a molasses or a toffee. Smells decent. All right, let's get some flavors on the palate. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here's Bumpy.
It's a medium. I'm going to give it a medium body. Medium body, lower side carbonation, not reaching the medium platform really, which kind of lends to a smoother drink. It's not all prickly on the palate with that. Loads of those rich bready, like dinner roll, like extra cooked dinner roll or biscuit type flavors. So it's very, very bready malt forward, but the darker breads, maybe cooked or toasted. Bit of chocolate kind of follows up mid palate right after all that rich breadiness. The fruit, the dark fruit doesn't really come through on the palate like it does in the aromatics of the beer. It's kind of more that like kind of darker fruit note, very, very light. It's kind of more up front. It does pay a little bit of a visit on the tail end as well. Going into this kind of herbal and earthy, like it's got this kind of resinous hop flavor for the finish. It's a moderate bitterness. It's not overly bitter. Pretty well rounded from front to back. 8% ABV. I mean, it doesn't taste like alcohol, but I'd say it drinks like it's an 8% ABV. So it's got that kind of medium body, and I think like the lower carbonation. It's not all prickly, so it does kind of. I don't know. There we go. Get some room here so I can breathe in the smoke. All right, I cut it because this thing is like all smoked. I mean, so this is, I mean, that's like just straight up smoke. This smells like hickory. It doesn't smell like an applewood smoked cheddar. It has a hickory smell to it, and it looks like they smoked it for a good amount of time, giving it that dark rind all over the place. So I'm going to do this one so I can try to smell more of the center, and this is kind of getting closer to the middle of the cheese, just to try to pick up any cheese notes beyond the smoke. It's really hard. It's a lot of smoke.
I bet that cheese good.
I mean, I'm getting something that kind of reminds me of fruit.
They're usually not that dark.
Yeah, it reminds me of a little bit of a fruit note in there, but I mean, this doesn't smell like a cheddar. It smells like smoke with a little bit of what reminds me of some type of a fruit. Anyways, I'm gonna eat off of this piece now.
Cheers.
Smoke. That's a given. The cheddar itself, it's not like a super sharp cheddar. It's like a creamy cheddar. Maybe a little bit musky, a little bit on the nutty side. It's got like a very slight, that kind of cheddar tang that happens. It's very, very minuscule. So I wouldn't call this a sharp cheddar. They said it's a rugged, mature, smoked English cheddar. So I think it's a little bit on the sweeter side for cheddars. The smokiness on the palate actually kind of has a bit of that kind of acrid note, just a touch of it. Almost like it was over smoked. It does kind of give off that almost bacon or ham type flavor.
I do. Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I'm eating the cheese. Let's eat more cheese. Let's just shove all my cheese in my mouth, and then I'll drink some beer.
I have a smoky Baltic porter.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it should work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't leave myself enough cheese to eat afterwards. What am I doing?
Make some French toast.
Waiting for the table.
Cut it hard.
All right.
True.
It's pretty nice. The beer takes away a lot of the cheddar portion's pretty much wiped out. I think like a little bit of that kind of nuttiness, sweetness, it blends in with that slight fruit note. The bread, the rich like kind of toasted biscuit or dark brown bread type notes are kind of dulled down a little bit. The smokiness kind of does this up and down. It comes back on the tail end. Definitely takes out some of the, because like I said, this is like a moderate bitterness with that kind of like herbal, zesty, earthy tone bitterness. And eating the cheese first kind of takes out that bitterness, and it's more of like a smokiness that kind of just resides. The smoke is so smoke. This cheese, holy smokes! But yeah, it kind of, the smoke intertwines nicely with the flavors of this beer. The beer does knock out a lot of like the acrid notes from the smoke out of the cheese. Little bit of that nuttiness is still kind of left in the front, but any of the other real cheddar notes out of this, which is really hard to get much cheddar notes out of this with as much smoke as in it. But a lot of the cheddar's kind of gone. But actually, now that I'm talking, I'm starting to get some of that kind of slight cheddar tang back in the end of the palate here. So let's go ahead, drink the beer, and then eat the cheese. And all right. Cheerios.
Cheers, buddy.
Wonder if the cheese is gonna run over the beer. Smoke might be. I don't know, man. Sounds like it's gonna work. No, kitty.
Yeah. No, that kind of like the first portion of eating the cheese after drinking the beer wasn't too pleasant. It kind of brought this strange kind of bittering flavor with the acridness of the smoke. After the beer starts to really get masked by more of the cheese notes, then it's okay. But then you're basically just eating the cheese anyways. So yeah, to combine these ones, it's definitely eat the cheese and then drink the beer. It works hella good that way. But the opposite is hella bad. Oh, excuse me. But I'll be thinking of a score for damn for these. Cheers.
Cheers, man. All right. Thank you, Bumpy. Let's get Chadeo up here.
Wow, I am actually following a massive novel. That was awesome, Bumpy. I was like, and Trio. Yeah, man, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. The library book. And so my cheese is I gotta look again, is the Boar's Head Blanc Gruyere. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. This has been in my fridge for about 6 months, and I will say this cheese is still #moist.
Yeah.
Nice and moist.
Nice.
I mean, I've been munching on it. You guys have seen it. You can't see it on camera. You just see her, but have the other two cats surrounding me like sharks. They want more and more and more. These cats love this cheese, but I'm going to hold off on the cheese, and I will bring up my home brew real quick. Look, the head's dissipated, but watch this. That rush. You see that rush right there? Carbonation rush. Very nice. I'm pleased with this version. This is version number 3. Version 1 came out good. Version 2, I almost lost, and I added more allspice to it in the fermenter. And I saved it because it began to separate. So I threw some allspice in there, and it saved it. And I was just so pleased because I was messing around with it a little bit more than I wanted to. Like in the boil, I was throwing some whiskey in there, and it was sitting on some whiskey chips and stuff. And I think it was just too much alcohol, and it just separated on me a little bit. So I sampled it about a week in. I was like, oh my God, no. So I threw more allspice into it, tasted it on transfer day, and it fixed it. There's no more cheese, kitty. You ate it all. But yeah, the beer kind of came around, and you can see the head dissipates quick, so you know it's probably a pretty high ABV beer. I'm gonna get on the aroma right away. It's all the allspice. I can smell that cinnamon. and all that good stuff. And there's on the back end, you get a little bit of a nose burn from the alcohol. So, it reads 9.5%. I know it's definitely higher than 9.5. But yeah, it does smell like winter, Christmas, whatever you want to call it. Give it a sip.
Cheers, Chadeo.
Cheers.
You're getting some of that, a lot of that allspice in it. You're also getting some of the, little bit of that generic ale flavor in the back end of it, the yeast and the grains. And then you get a little bit of a bite, like a frostbite of the booze. The booze kind of bites just slightly in the back end. And that's what I was looking for, because on days like today where it is 3 degrees at my house, the perfect beer. So the beer, I'm proud of how all 3 versions came out. They're all a little bit different. And I think version 3 is my favorite for this year. Now going on to the Gruyere, however you pronounce it. I call it Gruyere because it sounds proper. But with this cheese, you can see it's solid. It's definitely a hard cheese, but you get some of that moisture on the outside. Nice creaminess, white color to it. The aroma, you get that too. I'm definitely picking up on the salt in it. I know you want more. You can't have any more.
I'm waiting for her to grab it.
Oh, you missed it. I was like muted up. I'm glad I was muted up because I gave them a little bit and they're like reaching for me. Lucy's right here, just out of camera. Here, there she is. Ouch! See, she bit me.
Oh, dang.
She got a little bit vicious there. No cheese for you. I missed this. I think they did too. But I have several cheeses I can bring on in the next few weeks. But yeah, you definitely can tell there's a lot of Wisconsin influence in it. You're getting that Wisconsin like cheese, that creaminess, and just the thickness of it. You're also getting some of the salt and the aroma. No, we're gonna check the flavor.
Cheesers,
I
man.
think I've had that
Jesus.
cheese.
You stay the hell away from me. Ow!
Wow.
I had a smoked Gruyere not too long ago.
It's snappy tonight. Moist.
Get a lot of that creaminess, some of that just nice milkiness, some of the salt and the flavor. It's not overly flavorful, but while I'm chewing on it, I can tell I'm saving this block to melt over some homemade mac and cheese. It would be perfect to melt. It's a great melting cheese, and
Sure.
so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the cheese so far is very suffice. Don't you touch me. All right. Have a little piece of cheese before Zappia.
Right. Cheesers, man.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah, the beer definitely runs through the cheese. Just with the allspice and all the spices in there, it just overwhelms the cheese. You still get that creaminess from the cheese, a little bit of the sodium or salt from the cheese, but all the other flavors are wiped out. So let's try the beer and then the cheese. Okay. You get a little bit more flavor that way. So beer than the cheese is a little bit better. Get back, kitty. But yeah, it's interesting. You can definitely tell this beer overwhelms the cheese. As I've noticed, like in Florida, even on the road, I had a bottle in Illinois of it. I don't know if you guys saw my video that was released today for On the Road. But I was in a hotel room, gave a little hotel tour, hotel room tour, and I had like half a bottle left when I did the tour, and I was eating Subway with it and just completely wiped out the flavors of Subway. So it's a very overwhelming beer flavor wise, but yeah, it's pretty good. God, you can see some legs. not really legs, but yeah, it's sticking to it. Can't really see it. The camera's not picking it up. But yeah, I'll have my overall numbers next time around. But it's fairly interesting how this works.
Nice. Excellent, man. Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
The cheese over the beer.
Yep.
Or the beer. You did the beer, the cheese over that. So you got more flavor out of the cheese over the spices. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to cut the spices, but doing the cheese first, then the beer is just wiped out.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Right on. Love this show. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chadeo.
Cheers. Oh yeah.
All right. All right. So, what's everyone been doing? Have we been mixing it around? Are we doing beer first? I'm kind of off on that. I think I should.
I don't know. I
just going with the feeling. Yeah. Let's do the beer first. All right. So let's get a spin in this. I gotta get some aromas up. It's been sitting. It's probably about 55, 60-ish. Let's go into the nose. Dark chocolate, definitely. It's got a soft, smooth kind of feel. There's a little breadiness in there, like a brown bread crust. It's got some tobacco leaf, fresh tobacco. Yeah, dark chocolate. It's got molasses. I'm getting molasses out of this. Like a deep, rich, dark brown, brown sugar. That bready really rings through there. I don't know if this is aged, but I don't get anything aged wise, so it's probably not. I don't get any barrel or any like whiskey or anything like that. It's just a straight up imperial stout. We looked at it. Let's drink it. Cheers.
Cheers, beer man.
Cheers, Bob.
It's smoky. It's very smoky. Just like Bumpy. That's what it got well with your cheese. It's very, very smoky. It's almost got an acridness to it, ashy kind of feel to it. Rich dark chocolate. It's very rich dark chocolate that fills the mouth. Molasses, not so much coffee, not earthy. It's just real coffee. It's got actually kind of such a dry feel to it, mouthfeel to it, that it just feels thinner. It feels lighter. It's not as heavy feeling. No alcohol whatsoever. It's very dangerous in that sense. That ashy acridness, though, is really interesting. It really makes the beer what it. I think it makes it a good beer. It really puts in a real good front on that thing. It's sweet, but it's very dry. It's super dry. I actually kind of like that, though. They get too cloying, and it's really hard to take down sometimes. It's I don't know, it just gets a little sickening. So that's really nice. It's smooth and creamy. The tobacco leaves come through. Trying to think of what else I'm getting here. There's nothing real fruity. If anything, there's maybe a little raisin or something like that coming through it, but it's not super pressing. Cool. All right. So let's get into the cheese. This is a very hard cheese. I mean, listen. I mean, it smacks hard on that sucker, and you have to like actually. The cutting of it was intense, like you had some muscle. It's flaky. It's got like that flake kind of just like sits there. Yeah. So an orange, just nice. It's not moist by no means is it moist, but it's got a nice weird shiny sheen on it, and it smells like kind of like cheddar in a way or something, like an aged cheddar. Milky, definitely cow milk. A little saltiness in there. Has a slight nutty sweetness as well. It's very interesting. Let's eat this.
I'm excited for you. Last time I had it, it was so good.
It's hard to chew. It's like it's dense, but once you crunch it up, it actually crunches in your mouth. I don't know how yours was, but this one's crunchy.
Yeah, it had like the age
Mm-hmm.
crystals in there and stuff.
I was thinking crystallized, yeah.
That is super nutty, like walnuts or something. Walnuts or almonds. It's salty. It's not sweet. It's more salty. Salinity's coming through there. It's it really lathers your mouth once you start to powder, start to like chew through it and mix it around. It's got a an earthy. Now this is gonna go good with this beer. All right, let's do cheese before beer, and then we'll do beer before cheese since I'm eating on it. Get another bit in there.
I was sitting like by myself watching videos one night, and I was eating the mimolette with like a nice stout. It was so good.
Nice. It does have a condensed milk, cow milk kind of taste to it. The cheese. If you let it kind of sift through your tongue and your palate, you can kind of get that. It starts to get real, almost milky in your mouth. You're just like, you want something to take it down, you know? Oh, man. Yeah, that's nice, dude. That smoky still pushes around it like an umbrella. It just kind of, you still get the smoky from this. But that cheese, the saltiness, salinity just kind of like dives off and doesn't, it's not as salty anymore. It's more creamy, the creaminess and the texture, the flavors come through more in the cheese through this beer with that smoky umbrella. And it's just, it tastes like agey, it's a very agey atmosphere right now for me. This is interesting. Everything seems well aged and well preserved. And my cat is horny and is going crazy at the moment. Oh man. But a very good blend. A very good blend. Let me get a little wash. Let's drink a beer first and then we'll get the cheese. That's a good cheese. Oh, good beer. By the time it goes down, you have to chew it so much that it's hard to like.
Yeah.
No, but that beer stays in your mouth. That smokiness, the tobacco leaf, the molasses, and then the cheese. As you start to chew it, it starts to melt down in your mouth, and that saltiness kind of goes over it. But it goes really well. The nuttiness of the cheese comes out more. Both ways is very good. The beer before cheese is nice because that nuttiness of the cheese. Did I do beer before cheese right now? Yeah, I did beer before cheese. But the nuttiness comes out. It's so nice. It's such a lovely feel. Like, I don't know what it is. It's got that cavey kind of rock mineral kind of feel to it. With this cheesy, like salty creaminess. And it resides around all that beer too. The beer before cheese, I actually think I like the beer before cheese better. I think it's way better. But cool, man. That was a very fucking interesting experiment there. Still chewing on the cheese. It's like chunky. It was only like it was only $5.46 for 0.26 pounds. $20.99 though for a pound. So. Cool, man.
Oh, bro.
Welcome to Italy. Cheers, man. All right. Let's what happened, dude?
Wait, what? Hold on.
He walked away to sneeze, and his dog came and steeped all his cheese off the board. I didn't even see it.
Your dog's gonna be stuck in the morning.
I didn't even see it either, man. Oh, dude.
He didn't share it with the other dogs either. He ate it all himself.
What a jerk.
There's a good chunk left, too.
It's gonna be smoky.
Well, go ahead and we'll bring Miscellaneous. Go ahead and shout yourself after Two.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So for the Belton Farms double Gloucester with the onion and the chive, this is good. Like I said, if you're not scared of it's definitely got an onion flavor. Chives are up front. Like I said, creamy, tangy, savory. I definitely think, like I said, the funky onion goes good with the cheddar, and that vegetal note from the chives works perfect. Out of the Gloucester cheeses, I think this is the brand I've actually been sticking with from at least where I'm at. They're good cheese, very good cheeses. I put this definitely would earn a spot on a charcuterie board. I haven't had enough double Gloucesters to shoot the moon, but I'll definitely say this cheese is like a 96. I really like it. I enjoy it. Yeah. So the beer, sniffing on it, it's warmed up. I got this tiny little sip left. And you know what? I'm starting to pick up what this smells like to me. This almost smells like a Mackinac fudge without the chocolate. Without that big fudge presence, because you get in the maple. It's very dominant. You're getting the coffee. And it's got that kind of vibe to it. Obviously, it's a 6.4 compared to a much larger beer, but the more I smell on it, I'm like, it's reminiscent of something, and that's what I'm picking up. Yeah. Other than the bacon notes not being in there, you do get that little bit of smoky. I guess that's their thing with it. It's kind of always been that way. Yeah. So Beer Advocate scores this as a 99. I don't know if I'd shoot that high. It's definitely a very good beer. I think if I put this in front of you, you would at least enjoy it. I don't know if you'd want to sit down and get drunk on these, but it's not a bad experience either way. Yeah. Score wise, I'll put this at like a 97. It's very, very good beer. I think might be their best beer that they've put out recently, at least in distro, besides the Void Shaker series. Because the Last Snow, their coconut coffee porter, the Last Snow, I wasn't a big fan of it this year compared to previous years, but I think that's due to the buyout from Constellation. So yeah, 90. What did I say? 97, 95. Pairing worked. It was oddly interesting. Savory, sweet, coffee, onion. Wow. Like I said, I definitely enjoyed the sip of beer before eating the cheese. It kind of brought that maple and stuff through and did it make the cheese a little bit more sharper, other than eating the cheese and then drinking the beer, and it just kind of smothered it. Completely just smothered the beer, and it just tasted like a regular porter, like plain. You know what I mean? No adjunct. Yeah, so pairing wise, I think I'd stick it around a 95. I'm going to stay in that area. It was good. They worked together. Opposites attract. I didn't really know what to pair with the onion green. Yeah, the onion and chive. So, shout outs for me. Thursday, there will be a Thursday night beer session this week. Sorry, I worked a long ass day at the farm last week and I wasn't feeling it. So I was going to get on half-assed and do a schleppy ass show. Sorry, keep it real with you. Yeah. So still not sure. Probably just going to bring some new products because I went and made a pretty decent size haul today, and I got some interesting things. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Stout Sunday. Oh no, Michael's going to get that. Rate That Beer Saturday night at 8. It's going to be on East Coast LQ Reviews. Go check out Tanner. I think he does Thursday too. He does before my show. When is it? 5 or 6? No help. All right.
Oh, Tanner's show. Yeah, he usually does it around 5.
5. Okay. Yeah. So he's gonna do what's it? Brewery review, right?
Yeah.
Tells you something to bring from a specific
It's New
brewery.
Belgium.
New Belgium this week. So get a New Belgium product, any product from them, and you can make it on the show. Yeah. Sundays, check out Bangin' Beer Podcast with Anthony. new guy in on the community. Him and his buddies sit there. They actually do a pretty good show, and they have a lot of content. So go check them out. I think everybody else can cover most of everything.
Nice. All right. 95 overall, huh? That's good. They had a good score there. Cool. Well, thanks, Miscellaneous. All right. Let's get Michael up here.
Okay, as far as the brie cheese goes, I'm going to give it a 90. I thought it was really good. I'm not somebody who does eat a lot of soft cheese, but it's a nice change of pace, and it does have mild flavor, but it does have flavor. On the 6-point, the crisp, I'm going to give it a B plus, an 88. It was good, but not great. And the extra hoppiness, the 44 IBUs, made it a little bit interesting and different than your typical, German Pilsner types. But it's a recommended, in terms of if you see it in the 6-point collection in the store, you want a Pilsner, nothing wrong with trying it. But it's not going to be something you're going to say, this is the best Pilsner I ever had. It's okay. As far as shout outs, Stout Sunday on John Anilli's channel, Sunday 10:30, bring a stout or a porter. Everybody's welcome. And the other thing I'd like to show, this one came out of my Tavor pack, and Bumpy, I think, will be interested in this beer because it's from Listerman's in Cincinnati. Bumpy has done some of their beers.
No, Litherman's.
Oh, it's a different one. This is not that.
Yeah, we have
I've
Litherman's
had a
Limited.
couple Listerman.
Okay, so you have a different one in New Hampshire. This is Listerman's of Cincinnati, and if you notice, it has Tavor on the
That's a
side.
more label. I saw
It
that.
does.
Wow, interesting.
Huh.
And what this one is, it is white chocolate mocha discrepancies, imperial stout with raspberries, peanut butter, white chocolate, mocha, and lactose, 14%. So it should be interesting. Most of the beers in this stuff were all high alcohol, or as I told everybody before, the back end were Schwartz beers, dark lagers. The last 4 were dark lagers. But I'm warming up to the dark lager stuff too, because a good dark lager is sometimes hard to find. I mean, they're not all that, a lot of them are not that good. And I had one last night. It was excellent from Grimm, which is a local Brooklyn brewery. But otherwise, everybody, thanks, Beer Man, for having me tonight.
You bet, man. Yep. Thanks for being here. Cheers, Michael. Thank you.
Cheers, Michael.
All right. Let's get Bumpy up here.
All right. Well, let's start with the cheese. My dog Telly enjoyed it a lot more than I was.
So sorry. Oh, that's rough.
The other 2 dogs are looking at me like, "Where's my portion of cheese?" No, Telly ate it all.
So rough.
It was. It's one of those things where any bit of the cheddar I was getting, it wasn't one of those wowing cheddars. I think by itself, it would have just been kind of like it's an okay cheddar. So, it wasn't one of those cheddars I've had where it's like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I love it. To begin with, it was hard to get past the smoke. That's the other problem with the cheese was, there comes a time when, they have flavors in beers and different foods and stuff like that. And sometimes they're so light. You're like, oh, damn it. If you're going to say that you're going to bring this flavor, bring the flavor. This time they brought it way too much. The smokiness was just way overpowering. It really distracted from the cheese. It was just like taking in a mouthful of smoke for the most part. So
Wow.
It was okay. A few slices here and there would be like, oh yeah, you get the smoke, and then you really hunt for the cheddar notes, and it's like you can find them kind of, but yeah, I'm at like an 87 for the cheese, the smoked seaside. So yeah, 87 for that. The Baltic Porter from Mayflower, It was a decent Baltic porter. I mean, it wasn't barrel aged or anything. It was kind of on the lower side of an ABV for Baltic porter as well, being at 8%. But it had some decent flavors. It was well balanced, I think. But it had enough flavors to keep it interesting, and no coffee notes that I could detect, which I also appreciated. Very, that light kind of chocolate note in there, a little bit of that kind of very light on the palate, anyways, with a darker fruit type note, but the really rich kind of toasted bread notes. Dinner rolls is what I pretty much would call it, but like dinner rolls that have a bit of that char in the bottom. So it was good. It was nice. I know that we're gonna have some other Baltic porters a little bit later here that are gonna blow leather-bound books out of the water. It's gonna burn the library down. But yeah, I think that I'll score this one at a 92 out of 100. I think for a basic kind of Baltic porter, it definitely gave out some good flavor notes. It wasn't like a Combs or anything like that, which they have some really nice, the Polish Baltic porter out there is a notch or two above this Mayflower one, but still it was a decent drinker. So definitely in the A range for me, 92 out of 100. The pairing worked lopsidedly. Cheese before beer, much better. Cheese after beer, it just makes some not so pleasant flavors happening. So it somewhat worked. Shout outs, 50-point inspection videos. I have those coming out Wednesdays and Fridays. Those are my beer review videos. I have a live stream on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called New Brew. You just bring a beer that you've never had before to join up on panel. If you're in the chat, if you're in the panel, hopefully you guys can bring up some questions. I do like to ask a few questions throughout the show. More of like a standalone. Each person gets their time to kind of talk without possible interruption. The other portion of it's more like I call it a free for all. It's just kind of like when we're off air and everybody just wants to start talking about something that's kind of the format of the show. It doesn't always work that way, which is fine too. But other shout outs, Alex Food Friday is egg rolls. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Alex's channel, Alex the Beer Master. So grab an egg roll. I think that he will even allow spring rolls. So
Nice.
bring a spring roll.
Right.
Why not? I'm sure you can slide it past
rolls.
And then tonight, after this show, Beer and Cheese on John and Ellie's channel, we're going to be doing some Framing Hammer Baltic Porters. So if you have a Framing Hammer on hand, any variant, whether it be the base or any of their multiple variants that they've done throughout the years, you can bring that along, join up on John and Ellie's channel. I'm not sure exactly what time the show is going to start, but it is after Beer and Cheese ends. So we'll probably say around 9:30, be looking for a drop.
He already has it set up, Bumpy, so right after we get off.
Okay.
Yeah, he's waiting for us.
So with that said, I will zip my lip. Thanks for having me on, Beer and Cheese.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here. Cheers, man. All right. Cool,
Shit,
man.
I forgot one. Go check out Lep too at the hot seat.
Yeah,
at 9
there you
Thursday.
go. There you go. Yep.
Forgot about him because he's right after my show.
Thanks, Bumpy. All right. Chadeo.
Ready?
Yep.
Drop the bass. It's pretty hard cheese. You can't really hear it because a small cup. Like Beer Man was talking about, he had a hard cheese. This is fairly a hard cheese. I would not call this a table cheese due to it just kind of like being kind of like meh. It's a fondue cheese. It's like a grilled cheese type of a cheese. It's a melted cheese. It's a cheese you want to melt. But with that being said, for this cheese, it's pretty darn tasty. It's pretty good. I can see it in a fondue. You just dip bread in it or chicken or whatever into the fondue with this cheese, and it would be phenomenal. Now, the cheese before the beer, I'm not going to do again. It was okay. I mean, the beer just absolutely overwhelmed the cheese with all the winter spices and everything. But once you do this, I don't want to drool all over myself, but you do beer before the cheese, you get some of the milkiness in there with some of the spices and stuff, and that works pretty well. So a score for the Blanc Gruyere from Boar's Head. I had to look at it again. It's very good. It's very good. I'll probably put this in an 88. It's a melty cheese. I will definitely save the rest of this to use to make homemade mac and cheese or even grilled cheese or something, just to melt it on something. As for the beer, I think this is one of my better versions of my winter ale. Last year's, it seemed like the 2020 into 2021 versions were just okay. But the 21-22 versions, I'm very proud of it. You can just kind of give it a little shake, and it should kind of re-energize some head. It's kind of coming back up a little bit. So good carbonation, good flavor. I'm going to score this probably a 96 out of 100. So it's a solid A brew. I definitely will hold on to this recipe that I created to do this again, probably for Christmas, because I enjoyed this one the best. The version 1 was 11% or so, and it was just like done. It kicks you right where it counts. This one, you can actually enjoy it before you're like, okay, I'm getting a little buzz. So, Beer Man, thank you for having me. Shout outs. As you guys can tell, a lot of the beer reviews are getting thin on my channel, but you guys also know that I went on a road trip from Denver to Tampa on the road with a buddy who's moving down there. I was able to pick up some beers along the way. A really good beer from Southern Illinois. Picked up a beer from Tailgate in Nashville. Picked up Creature Comforts out of Athens, Georgia. So the reviews of some of those beers are coming out over the next few weeks. So look for those. They're really good beers, and look forward to sharing my review with all of you guys. Cheers, everyone.
Hey, cheers, Chadeo, man. Good having you. Cheers.
Good being here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and welcome back to Colorado.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you so much. It's good to be home, except for the 3-degree weather. I am with the 80-degree weather back.
We need that here. It's 39 today. I don't know what's going on. Alaska. All right. Alaskan breezes.
No,
blame Canada.
Yeah, I always blame Canada.
Canada.
Canada's fault.
Thanks, Chadeo. Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
All right. All right. So the beer itself is absolutely awesome. And the reason why is because it wasn't cloying, it wasn't so gross that I couldn't handle it. It had that nice little ashy smokiness to it over the top, like I said, an umbrella over all this beautiful beer. The texture of the beer was nice. The soft mouthfeel, the relaxed, creamy mouthfeel. The body, I didn't even mention that, was a nice, I think I did maybe. It was more on a medium level, but it was just a very good overall beer for 9.7% with 60 IBUs. It did have an acridness to it, but that all kind of contributed to the smokiness, so it just really made it a real lovely beer. I'll give it a 97 out of 100. I think it was an amazing one. The cheese was just absolutely amazing. Nutty as all could be. Very nutty, very cavey, very aged like. It had just a real crazy rock like feature to it, like you're eating granite or something. It just had this real I don't know. But on top of that, it also had a salty creaminess once you got through it, and it really tasted. It was a very nice cow milky, rich cheese, and I could sit here and chew on that forever and drink this beer. That cheese, I will definitely give a 90. I'm gonna go 99. 99 out of 100. And the pairing, I'm gonna say 100. I absolutely think this is the perfect pairing. The smokiness with the granite, and it would have to be beer before cheese, but also cheese before beer is pretty good. So I guess that's kind of where I got the 100 from, is the fact that it's so well rounded with the pairing. It just seemed to hit the marks perfectly. Bam, bam. So I'm very, very, very happy with this pairing, and I'm going to do it again one day. Hopefully I'll get another stout, and I'll let my wife try this too. So she's always the main person who says the calls for me. I'll taste a beer and I'll go to her and say, hey, what is this? It did not taste like that. What are you talking about? It does taste like that. Yeah, women, there's something about women, man. They know what they're tasting. All right, so shout outs. Beer and Cheese Tuesday, man. It was going to be an open one, but we're going to go anything Germanic. Anything Germanic. I don't care what it is. And that would be this.
Did you say dramatic or Germanic?
Anything Germanic. German.
Yeah, nice. German. The German beers. I love it.
Anything dramatic. No, bring a Germanic style to the table and mix it with the cheese. It was a very quick thought, and I just came to my mind. So, let's do that. And that'll be 8:00 Eastern for that next week. And then tomorrow will be anything goat related. Anything. It could be a label with a goat on it. It could be a bock or something like that. It can be anything related to a goat. So bring that with not with the cheese. Just bring that and let's discuss that beer. So that'll be at 6:00 Eastern. And I guess update on the brewery. We're doing good. We're on the finishing touches. I'm just trying to get some stuff done. So a lot to talk about with that. So I don't want to bore everyone, but it's definitely I'm looking forward to getting to the finished stage where I can actually brew. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to the panel. Let's open this up real quick. Leave it where it is. Cheers to you. I appreciate the panel. Michael Komaroff, Bumpy Road Brewery, Chadeo, and Miscellaneous Brew Reviews. And, of course, Beer Man here out to pair out some cheese and beer again. So we're going to do it next week.
Night.
Yep. Good night. Have a good one. Cheers to the chat. All right.
I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, we got to hurry.
You guys enjoy that framing hammer, dude.
Take care, guys.
Yeah. Take care. Cheers.